Okay, another day, another dollar. How's it going, everybody? My name is Infamous Isaac, and I'm here with a video on Boruto. It finally came back after 4 months of waiting. The manga has returned with a banger chapter, and I wanted to talk about it. And before we get into it, I want to say I'm not going to give my spoiler-free opinions on it in the beginning. I'm going full into spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, which is crazy to even think about, like this is the next part of Boruto, then leave the video now, catch up, come back if you want to. If not, at least you caught up, but you do not want to miss it. So without further ado, that's the spoiler warning. Now let's begin. But first, to start off with some context, so Reaper was the one that told me that Boruto came back because it's under a new name now. It's like how Shippuden changed after they ended original Naruto. I always wondered why Naruto split their shows up into three shows. Granted, I understand why Boruto was different from the original Naruto, but I always wondered why not just put it all into one giant like One Piece type thing, where it's all just arcs and all that, including a time skip. But now I realize that it's just easier to digest if it's all different shows, instead of One Piece where it's such a daunting task just to literally even start it because it's so long. Each approach has their merit, but let me know down below which approach you prefer. And also, I want to say that I was inspired to do this video by watching Lotus Asakura, and he's a YouTuber. He's a Dragon Ball Fighters and Naruto YouTuber. And I was watching one of his videos, and he was talking about the manga, and I was like, oh shoot, I read it. I have an outlet to talk about my opinion on it. Why not do it, right? And so I want to shout out to him because a lot of YouTubers that I watch inspire me to make content and find different ways to grow and develop my channel. So I'm gonna link his channel down below. But the beginning section of this chapter starts off with us seeing Sarda, Konohamaru, and Shikamaru 3 years later after the end of the Boruto Next Generations manga. And we see Sarda with her post time skip fit. It looks so hard. I don't care what people say. All the time skip fits, or most of them, look fire. Konohamaru, he looks dope. And Shikamaru, oh my goodness, they cooked with Shikamaru. Seeing him with the Hokage cloak is so hard, bro. It's just something I didn't even think about when reading the last chapter for Boruto before going to this. Was that who's gonna be the next Hokage? Of course, it would be Shikamaru. Shikamaru's so intelligent, why wouldn't he? Granted, people will be like, oh, but he's not that strong compared to Naruto or Sasuke. Shikamaru is him, bro. Do not disrespect him. But it also makes sense for him to be Hokage because Sasuke is considered a traitor to the Hidden Leaf. The village considered Sasuke helping Boruto at the end of Next Generations as him defecting towards his side, so now he's just considered a traitor. And they even mention that in this chapter with Sadara mentioning how, oh, I bet you probably view my dad as a traitor as well. And so the reason why Sarada is in Shikamaru's office is because she's trying to convince him that he didn't do it. It was all a misunderstanding and that you gotta let him speak his mind. And Shikamaru's just like, it's not just us two that believe that he should be a traitor, it's the entire village. It's been so long since it happened that trying to rescind the law, even if it happened, isn't going to change the village's mind. You know, this is the whole will of the village. And Sasarda gets mad at this and storms out of the office while saying, you're not the Hokage that I looked up to. It was Lord Seventh, it was Naruto, so don't ever think that. And it gives credence to the fact that Sarda's probably been trying to do this for the better part of 3 years, but nobody believes you, even though they're the ones that are wrong. You've seen how life has played out. You've seen what life is like. But against their free will, at the drop of a hat, they just immediately switched up, and now she just has to figure out a way to do this. And granted, it's not as bad as Boruto, because for him, it's even worse. Because he's seen as bad as a criminal as Code is. Their minds have been completely altered by omnipotence, Ada's power. And with that scathing remark, she leaves, and we cut away to Kawaki in his new time skip design. And we see him in front of Naruto and Hinata, who are both passed out in that time room that he made to keep them there for like immortal forever, basically. And so after that, we cut away back to Sarada with Sumire now. And those two are talking with Sadara basically saying like, yo, I didn't really want to say that, you know, like, I know he's trying his best to lead the village in these tough times, but I'm just so upset because nobody believes Boruto. And Sumire does. She believes her because she also understands that, like, yeah, everybody's under omnipotence. And they're the only two that we know of as of right now who aren't affected by Ada's omnipotence and her charm as well. So they're just completely fine. Same with Boruto. And so those two are talking to her and trying to figure out like, yo, what's going on? What's happening? And Ada and Damon seem like they're starting to catch on. They're like, yo, they aren't affected by the charm. At the very least, they're getting suspicions of it. But Sumire basically dissuades their suspicions by smooth talking their way through it. And so Ada's just like, you know what? Fine. You guys are fine. And so then she starts explaining to them that her omnipotence, she can't control it. She can use the power, but it's only really because of Kawaki's will that it actually worked, and that it doesn't affect family members of the person affected. So Boruto and Himawari. We cut away to Himawari training with Chocho, Shikidai, and Inojin. And we get to see all their cool time skip designs. And all of them just look so fire. I don't care what anybody says. Like, there are better ones and worse ones. But the fact that everything's changed, it feels like these kids are their own independent people now. They're not just influenced by their parents. And while some people saw that as a negative, I didn't mind because at the end of the day, they're still children and they live under their parents' rule. But now that they're older, they're like 15, 16, they have really developed their own style. But with Himawari, we get to see that she's training, she's trying to get better. And Ino, Shika, and Cho are all asking, like, yo, so why are you doing this for? You don't have to. Like, you're still young. You don't need to become a ninja. She says that the reason she wants to do it is because she wants to help Boruto. Because even though Omnipotence made it so she thinks that Kawaki is her brother, she still wants to help Boruto because she feels like she owes him because he saved her dad. And she doesn't know why. And it just reminds me of what Ada said about how like family members aren't affected or at the very least as much. It's just giving me vibes that it's still something there. And Lotus Sasakura mentioned something in his video how Shikumaru or Mitsuki should be some of the people who at the very least can figure it out or are suspicious about Kawaki. And we get to see that next when we see Kawaki and Mitsuki talking. And Mitsuki's just saying like, yo, I'm gonna kill Boruto, but Kawaki is like, yo, listen, man, relax, like, that's fine, but just get up off me. And Mitsuki's like, yo, listen, you're my son, alright? I have to protect you because this man is a threat. He could be anywhere. And Kawaki's like, yeah, that's fine. But then Mitsuki has his own suspicions brewing in his head, like, you are my son, right? And then ellipses happen like a little like a speech bubble next to him. It's really cool. But those two, Shikamaru and Mitsuki, should be ones that suspect something is amok, something is foul. Because those two are some of the smartest characters in their own show, so you would think that like they would notice some clues and inconsistencies with what's going on with omnipotence. But next we get to see Kawaki walking around with some of the village guards, and basically they're like, yo, so Code's claw marks were seen somewhere. And so next thing we know, one of the guards had a claw mark on his neck. And so Kawaki found it, and next thing you know, one of Clone's soldiers appears through that guard. And so now the village is on high alert because Code is here. And then Code and Sarada meet up, and Sarada's just like, what are you doing here? And then Code's just like, I'm looking for Boruto. And she's like, yeah, but he's been gone for 3 years now. He hasn't been in the village for a very long time. And then Cole's just like, listen, I misspoke. What I meant to say is that I'm going to have him come here because I have been searching for him, but I haven't been able to find him. And so I'm going to use you guys as bait to get him here. Speak of the devil, Boruto shows up in one of the cleanest ways possible because all the clones are attacking and the village is basically under attack. So he shows up and he steps on Code's face. So he does that and he's just like, yo, that's not how you talk to ladies, bro. It's mad creepy. And so he hops back, he stands next to Sarada, and now we get to see the coldness, bro, the freshness. Boruto and his post time skip design is just Sasuke. That's it. And that's the end of the chapter because now we have everybody trying to converge on to Boruto and Code because they're both still considered major threats. That hasn't changed with Code because he's still a very prominent danger to the village. But now that Boruto has shown up, they know that like he's a lesser evil, but either one can just destroy it. So we have to be careful. My first impressions and thoughts. This chapter was great. I am so happy that this is how they came back with this manga. A new start, fresh, with things already established. The characters can start to feel like their own people. And it definitely does. Like Sarada just feels so independent. She's trying to help out her friend. Sumire and her are becoming like really close friends. You have Ada still being in the village, which I didn't even think about. And her basically playing a huge role in their politics as well. Shikamaru becoming the Hokage. Everybody growing up. Boruto not being able to see his parents, his sister. I really like the post time skip designs that the characters are given. It really feels like it freshens up those new characters and it flips it on their head with what we were already used to with like the 80 chapters that we were given. especially since it's been 3 years since the last time we saw them. And for us, it's been only 4 months. So even though it's not nowhere near as long as it is in the actual manga, it's still a good passage of time for people that were keeping up. So it's just interesting to see how this manga is gonna go going forward with the characters, whether like Sasuke is gonna come back, wonder what happened to him, how Boruto's gonna be after 3 years of basically training. In a sense, it's similar to Naruto when he went to train with Jiraiya, but in a way worse situation. And it's cool too because you have Naruto going after Sasuke in the original, but now you have Sarada going after Boruto, basically vouching for him the same way that Naruto did for Sasuke. But here it was forced. Sasuke left of his own volition. Boruto had to leave. But it seems like right now the hope is paying off. I'm super excited to see where it goes. Let me know down below how you feel about this manga chapter, how you feel about the future for Boruto, at least in the manga anyway. In the anime, I don't even know what's going to happen with that, when it's coming back or how they're going to proceed. But regardless, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoy. I'll see y'all in the next video. I don't know if I'm going to cover Boruto chapters extensively, but know that I will be talking about Boruto at least a little bit going forward because I'm back on the gravy train, bro. I can't wait. And in the comments, if you're going to talk about it, just be civil. Because at the end of the day, I know that there's people who call Boruto mid or people who defend Boruto but call other shows mid. So just relax. Just talk about it like normal people. We can just have a chill talk about it, you know? Just chill. But I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. I'll see you all in the next video. And until next time, Boruto Two Blue Vortex is here. Peace. And it also adds up because Sasuke is considered a trailer